right fast, I want to talk about odds to make the college football playoff. And it's August, and we ain't started playing games yet, but I do have a 134 that is coming out on Sunday on foxsports.com. I encourage you to take a look at that. And if you are here, please subscribe to the channel. We're marching toward 100,000 subscribers. That's my national championship. That itty-bitty play button that don't mean a whole lot to some folks means a whole hell of a lot to me, because in September, I've been doing this show for 7 years right here, and there are some day ones on here that are going to be down to celebrate because we're going to get it in when we get to the 100K. But I want to get on here on Friday and talk about this because, well, I'm perusing foxsports.com, as you should, and I'm looking at the betting favorites to make the 12-team playoff field, right? And basically 1 through 5, we can all agree on, right? Ohio State got minus 650 to make the playoff. Georgia got minus 600. Georgia got minus 300. Oregon got minus 300. Texas got minus 200. Notre Dame got minus 165. And then I think I see a fly in the punch bowl, because behind this squad is Ole Miss at minus 130 and Alabama at plus 100. And I got to tell you, everybody else in here, I think, got a legitimate opportunity to make the college football playoff in the 12-team format for a number of reasons, not the least of which is you can bet on all those teams except Notre Dame as contenders to play in the conference championship, whether it's the Big Ten or the SEC. We know that the conference champion for both of those conferences getting in, when we think that whoever makes that conference championship is also going to get in. So that's 4 squads, right? 2 of those are at large. 2 of those are spoken for. Notre Dame is basically a spoken for if they do their job, right? Because they're always going to have one of these at large bids because they're an independent. They don't play a conference championship, and we consider Notre Dame to be the Ferrari of our college football, where people just like having them around enough that they're going to let them slide in. So it's not really 5 at large spots. It's more like 4. That said, this other squad is going to get in here before the next group of 5 squad, or even before the next third best. I guess it'd be the 5th best team in either one of these conferences combined, SEC or Big Ten. And I got some issues with that because, well, Ohio State is loaded for bear, and this is the most important year of the new playoff, because I believe that you take it back to 2014 with Ohio State winning that first one in the 14 playoff. It set them up for the dynastic run that they wanted to go on, but even made them a power once again, right? A bona fide power in college football. And I understand that there are Ohio State fans going, yo, RJ, we went undefeated in 2012. We just didn't get to play for a bowl game. I know that. We also won a national championship in 2002. I know that. But the only thing that people are out on, or I should say not sold on, is Will Howard. And I'm not necessarily I don't want to be defending Will Howard everywhere I go, because frankly, I reserve that for Justin Fields, for CJ Stroud. But when people tell me that Will Howard is not a big game player, I say, who do you think knocked off undefeated Texas Christian in the Big 12 championship game? Because it wasn't Avery Johnson, okay? Like, I just want you to play the man his respect. I count rings, dog. I count banners. That's why we chased 100,000 subscribers here. I like championships. And you know what? The only guy on that roster with a conference championship since 2019 is Will friggin' Howard. So let's start with that. All that boy got to be is Craig Krenzel. That's it. But what you got is, vanilla Cam Newton out there. Farm boy Cam Newton, 6'5", 242, with Chip Kelly calling the offense. So you're probably going to see some zone reading stuff, and he is a big man to try to bring down. But if you don't like it, fine. Go get Julian Sayin or Aaron Nolan or Devin Brown. Georgia's still Georgia. I know a lot of people are all of a sudden talking well about Carson Beck, but I'm like, he had Brock Bowers the last 2 years. What are you talking about, dog? Or I should say last year, not the last 2 years. But Brock Bowers had 750 yards receiving, and he didn't play some of the time, right? What do they have in the receiving core? I don't know, but the defense is going to be the defense, so we expect him to be good. Oregon is that team up there with Ohio State in that, they made all the changes that you want and you want to see, because getting Dylan Gabriel in there to run that offense is perfect for Will Stein, because they're really good at protecting the quarterback and they're really good at getting after the quarterback. 79 pressures for Bo Nix all last year, and Dylan Gabriel's not a dude that holds on to the ball. He gets it out of his hands, and he can feel pressure. Matter of fact, he got a 99 awareness rating on EA Sports College Football 25, which is absurd and unfair, because that basically means any read you want to make is going to be open, because the game knows that Dylan Gabriel is right. That's just it. He going to make you right. Texas got really one thing to worry about, I think, and it's the receiving core. I'm not as sold on them. I like Jonte Cook. I like Silas Bolden. Isaiah Bond? I don't know. Amari Niblack is good. I think they're deep at tailback. I've talked enough about their tailbacks in segments before, and I think they're going to be better in pass defense because they're going to be better in pass rush, right? Ethan Burke on one side, Trey Moore on the other, and then we'll see what they can do on the outside along with Andrew Makuba and whatnot in the back end. Notre Dame is Notre Dame. I think if Mike Denbrock can sprinkle whatever sauce it is or salt he's put on Jaden Daniels on Riley Leonard, then yeah, sure, they're going to be great. But nobody saw the Jaden Daniels that we saw last year previous. Nobody. And if you said that you did, you lying. I don't care that you are an LSU fan and knew that he had it in him. I've been watching that boy play football for the last 6 years, going back to high school. And that man was basically what Will Howard is now, okay? Or no, not even that. He's what Drew Aller is now, right? A guy that could take care of the football to an extent, but not really go make a play and make it happen. Also add in there Brian Thomas and, Malik Neighbors ain't just, run-of-the-mill wide receivers that you throw in the rock to. And then Ole Miss, they also loaded for bear. They're in that Oregon spot. Lane Kiffin is going all in on this because I think he knows what happened for Ohio State in 2014 can happen for Mississippi in 2024 if they get this right. He's gone all in on the portal. He's got a great quarterback in Jackson Dart. Trey Harris is outstanding out there. I think you're going to see Ivy continue to flash off the edge, and I think that you're also going to get to see Walter Nolan make Pete Golden look good because all they got to do is be okay on defense and not abysmal on defense, and they're going to be out here running the game. Alabama's Alabama. We all know that Kalen DeBoer is a born winner. He's lost all of 12 games in his entire career as head coach. He's run over 100. And while they're not that much better at wide receiver with Jeremy Bernard going to be their number 1, Kobe Prentice probably going to be their number 2, Ryan Williams going to work into, I think, number 3, and Cole Adams in number 4. That's the way I see it breaking down. We'll see. And they're going to be fine on defense, if not good. It's about, can Jalen Milroe complete the intermediate pass? Because if he can, lights are out. Lights out. That's the best quarterback in the game if that man can fix that part of his game, because nobody is more of a threat on every single play to do something running or throwing than Jalen Milroe in the sport right now. And I think all the folks that are giving Alabama the goodwill that they would normally associate with Nick Saban, for the time being, it's fine. It looks right. It looks okay. All the Alabama folks pulling in the same direction. The team that sticks out for me here that is getting better odds than Ole Miss and Alabama to make the college football playoff is Penn State, who's getting minus 145. Penn State, who has changed its offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator again. Penn State, who's got Drew Aller at quarterback and can run the damn ball. They're going to be good on offensive line. I just don't see it, dog. He can throw the ball deep well, but I can't have a guy that's throwing for 295 yards but only completing 48% of his passes against Ole Miss in a game they lost. Be a dude that I'm a shoe-in for the college football playoff. I don't know about this one, dog. I want to know what it is everybody else thinks they see in Penn State. Because if you think that's the third best team in the Big Ten, maybe on the schedule, but they still got to get past Ohio State. So you're telling me that if they take the loss to Ohio State, but they don't make the Big Ten championship, that they'll have a resume with one loss that's better than, say, LSU, right? Who also ain't on this list? Or for that matter, Oklahoma or Tennessee to keep it in the SEC, or USC or Michigan? Michigan ain't even on this list, but Penn State is. I'm not in the business of defending Michigan either, but I would be so upset and angry and mad about this, and I would let everybody who has had anything to say know about it going into 2024.